To you, we can certainly expect quite a lot to be in focus for the budget, from state-owned enterprises to the dismal economic growth of the country. But something, Abra, we can focus on now is the demands of the students with the release of that report on free education. Can students expect to hear anything today, especially seeing as the report hasn't been released yet?
Natasha, good afternoon. You are right, there is so much going on. The minister really has so many balls up in the air at the moment, and there are just so many aspects that need to be unpacked today. But if we do focus on the students for now, we were expecting the students to be at the gates of Parliament by now. We were told they'd be here by 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Just before this crossing, I went outside to go see what was happening. And aside from what seemed to be quite a bit of security arrangements and setups, and I did see a few COSATU representatives outside as well, regional COSATU representatives. I saw them outside. I didn't see any, there were no students, so I don't know if they are still marching. I did see on Twitter there's quite a bit of activity, or there was quite a bit of activity at UCT earlier on today. So they might still be making their way to the gates of Parliament. What we do have at the moment, we've got lots of media, lots of VIP police around here at the moment, and of course right behind my camera, and if my camera can pan just to show you, we've got students, primary school students, and I assume that they are going to be guests in the National Assembly, who it looks like it's their first time here to Parliament today, and they of course are having fun at Madiba's bus, taking lots of selfies, enjoying themselves. So these are the only students we see right now. We're still waiting for the university students to make their way here, but yes, university students and their parents, of course, will be paying very close attention to the minister's mini-budget speech today. And this has been described as one of the most anticipated budget speeches in a long time. Of course, it is Malusi Gigaba's first budget speech, and the climate in which he is doing it, it's really tense, and he doesn't really have that much room for movement. So there's going to be lots of unpacking and analysis later on. Students do want the release of that report. Just this morning from the ANC itself, we heard, I think it was the chairman of the Finance Committee, Yunus Karim, who himself said that the president needs to release that Fees Commission report now. That's one of the reasons the students will be making their way here. And of course, they also want to hear exactly how they will be impacted in terms of their fees by any announcements made by the minister today. And when I speak about climate, there's so much going on. SARS reported a 40 to 50 billion rand shortfall in its collections. They were hoping to collect so much more this year. And if you explain it in the terms of a household budget, you have so much to budget with, and at the end of the month you come out with less than what you had hoped for, so you have to cut somewhere. And Minister Gigaba has to cut by, he's got 50 billion rand less, essentially. So we do have SARS experts on standby who will be speaking to us afterwards as well to explain, to help us to unpack that issue. And then, who's going to be the losers today? Something's got to give. My colleague Devon in his package earlier mentioned SOEs. What's going to happen with Eskom? What's going to happen with the nuclear build program? The minister did say last week that the country does not have money for that program. But we'll hear today exactly what is happening in that regard. So there is a lot of going on, lots of perceptions, state capture, corruption. Taxpayers want to know what is happening with their money. Today they want to hear what exactly is going to be happening with their money and how today's budget is going to be impacting on their pocket. Because essentially at the end of the day, that's just what all households want to know, is how is this going to be impacting on my pocket. Natasha, back to you.
Abra, thank you very much for that. And he does, of course, as you say, have a lot of work to do to shake off some of those negative perceptions of the last few